Hey everyone, this is Josh Mayer with M.M.R.E.S and the Warrior Healing Center.
And I'm Beatriz Villalobos with Cross Country Mortgage, and we are podcasting out of the Warrior Healing Center, hoping to bring you guys some good stuff. I just happen to be here with my husband, and we hope to bring a little bit of our military experiences and backgrounds and provide the community with some more information and be educational.
And today's our first day. We're actually launching a new podcast. It's called M.M.R.E.S.
M.M.R.E.S. I've never had one, and I'm about to find out.
So M.M.R.E.S, M.M.R.E.S, mortgages, military, real estate, and stuff.
Stuff or shit, however you want to go about it.
Every couple episodes, I'm going to bust down MRE. I'm going to introduce B to it. She's going to try it, give her take on it.
Yeah.
I got a special surprise for her later. And then on other episodes, we're going to have special guests come in, talk about veteran affairs, veteran disabilities, veteran homes.
Past military members, current military members, military-owned, veteran-owned businesses, just veteran-provided services.
Anything that we can think of to help the veterans. Yeah. We're going to start introducing it. So in the comments, if you want to see some topics discussed, go ahead and feel free to let them. Drop them right there. Also, subscribe, obviously.
Yeah. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas of who you would like us to talk with and interview to help provide services or information to the community, we are open to it.
All right. And on that note, I think we should just dive right in. So,
ooh, okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So today's MRE, we are going to be eating
Mexican-style rice and bean bowl.
Yep. Mexican-style rice and beans. It's a classic. Everyone's had this before. All right. So I already opened yours up. So let's go ahead and go through everything. So go ahead and pull out the first thing, and I'll tell you what it is.
Thanks for opening this up for me, because shit's like Fort Knox. Okay.
Oh man.
So
grab that one first. What you got?
Beverage base powder lemon lime.
Ooh, you got lemon lime. I got chocolate protein.
Yuck. I'm glad you got that.
You want to try it first?
Sure.
All right, so the best thing about these is the new ones, these are cups.
This is a cup?
Yep, these are cups. So you're able to pour them in, shake it up, it'll zip up. The problem is just trying to get them open. That's why you're supposed to have your knife, which I do have. Yep. See? Take your water and just pour some of it on in. And zip it up.
So looking forward to this. Yeah.
Give it a shake.
Okay.
And you got the lemonade. I got protein, which works because I've been going to the gym lately.
Yeah, you have. So anyways, did you ever think we'd be doing this?
No. So I used to eat MREs all the time when I was in, because we would always be out in the field doing UAV business.
Uh-huh.
So we would have 2 of these probably a day, and then I was telling you before.
I have to fill it all the way up?
No, fill it to the line.
Okay. To what
usually.
Line?
Give it a couple shakes.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I got protein. Mine gets a little chalky, so I'm trying to at least make it not as bad.
All right. So let's get into some topics here while we make our drinks. Hit me.
So, what made you get into lending?
Okay. Well, you know my background, obviously, but
I'd hope so. After what?
I've been lying to you for 18 years.
You know, like 18 years married coming up on?
Yeah. So, I was born in California. Came here, I think, 2nd grade. Ooh, that looks delicious.
I forgot how chalky they are.
Oh.
They don't mix. Oh, that's flashbacks.
Yeah, I've lived in Sierra Vista since, 2nd grade. I used to go to Carmichael School, and we lived right across the street over off of 7th area by our church. And, yeah, I grew up here, graduated from Buena, and I went to college, and I said I would never marry a dumb GI.
That's when I came along.
Grew up saying that here. Like, man, those GI guys, like, they're, immature. They drive around fast and they're overpriced cars, all that stuff.
Hey, the recruiters promise you Camaros.
I know. And then you came along. I met you at the Tucson Mall through my buddy Frank, who I happen to have in my English senior class. And that's how we began.
Yeah.
I went to college, and then shortly after I graduated college, the first time, you asked me to marry you, and I did.
We'll cover that one on maybe another topic.
Yeah.
That's a fun story.
So, long story short is I've gone to college twice, and I eventually just hurt my body enough to where healthcare wasn't for me anymore. And my good friend Tracy was like, hey, I think you would be a good mortgage lender. And I was like, what the hell is that? That's not up my realm. It's not related to healthcare. I'm really avoiding drinking this.
Take a drink. Come on. It's
okay.
just lemonade. It's like a Gatorade. It's essentially what it is.
Oh, that's not bad.
Right?
I might finish that. How many calories is
So
it?
look at the other side if you look at your nutrition value.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
So my protein shake, right, has 260 milligrams of sodium, 50 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 35 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein.
This did not taste as bad as I thought. Like this, I would drink this like on a hot day when I'm out gardening. Like,
It has a lot of electrolytes, I can tell you
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna save this one for once we get into the nastier stuff.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, so my friend Tracy's like, I think you'd be good at this, and so I prayed on it, took a leap of faith, and I jumped into it. Did not know what the hell I was doing, because let's face it, like my mind was very healthcare focused, healthcare oriented. I was just extremely good at what I used to do.
Yeah, you were.
And then I jumped into a field where I did not know what the hell I was doing, and if you know me, I like to excel in what I'm doing. I like to be the best at what I do, and when I feel incompetent, it drives me nuts, and I get that from my dad. So
That's true.
yeah, and so over the years I've been learning more and more, and I think I finally just found my jam, my bread and butter, which is I want to serve the service member community. I understand you guys a little bit better, obviously, from being married to you and just being
around the
involved in
guys.
that community. But yeah, I hurt myself enough to leave the healthcare system, and now I am still able to help people, just in a different way. And I think I'm able to help more of my people, my style, all these soldiers who, like me and you, when we first bought our house, we did not
we didn't know anything.
have any freaking clue what we were getting into. And I wish we would have worked with a little me who would be honest with us. And
Oh my God.
that would have been
Even the
sweet.
second time we bought a house, we still didn't know what we were doing. And yeah. Or the third. No, we bought a house. Any of the times.
Yeah, so I like to, my goal is to be known as like, hey, you have a VA question, go to this girl, she'll be honest with you. And that's kind of what I'm aiming for, is even if you're not my client or my customer, or you're a realtor and you haven't worked with me, you can expect honesty from me.
That's true.
That veteran or active duty, or if your sister is getting a loan in a different state and things are kind of fishy, I'm happy to take a look and answer questions, because it's all about helping people. And so that's kind of, I feel like it was God's way of saying, you hurt yourself, you're unhappy in this career, now you're a mother, let's put you in a different field where you can still help people, but you can also be more present with your family and emotionally, and I'm not so stressed out anymore.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and so
Happy wife, happy life, and definitely
something like that. Yeah.
your stress levels, I will say, has gone down. I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons why we were able to have the boy. It's less stress, right?
That's a whole different story.
Yeah, but all right, let's move on to the meal a little bit.
I was gonna take another sip of my
Go
drink.
ahead, help yourself. You're gonna need those electrolytes.
Well, while we're doing that, how did you end up in real estate? Where did you start?
So I'm originally from California,
Mm-hmm.
Apple Valley, California, to be precise. Before that, it was Norwalk in LA. I joined up back in 2005 when I got out of high school. Sorry, joined straight in the Army. Came here. My grandparents, long time ago, were stationed here, and they met here, which obviously you know.
Yeah.
So when they found out I was coming here to Fort Huachuca,
Love this story.
they were like, "Oh, you're gonna meet the love of your life there, and you're gonna get married, and you're gonna have kids, and all that stuff." And I told them, "Hell no! I'm gonna do what every 18-year-old male does: buy a fast car, and hopefully pick up lots of women." It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Met you, and well, 18 years later, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 years. Let's see. After Huachuca, I went to Fort Hood. We were there for 3 years. Did Mosul. From there, went to Carson. Did
love
Carson for 3, Afghanistan for
Colorado.
12. We got out, you know. I went to school to be PTA. Things didn't work out as well. So then eventually I ended up on post, doing the drones again, teaching Gray Eagle and the Shadow. And I love that. Again, back to messing around with soldiers and teaching them. And, you know.
You really liked that.
Yeah, I like teaching. Like, I like making sure whoever I'm talking to understands, like, what it is. If they're trying to learn something, I'll give them everything they can to learn.
Yeah.
And the other
quality
thing
you possess is like you like to be thorough about things and make sure people understand it.
everything about it, you know. And the other thing I'll say is, like, I always had treated all my soldiers with respect, like they were soldiers. I would tell them, like, you joined the military for a reason. You know, I'm going to treat you like an adult. I used to be a soldier. Things slip, and I will cuss, and I will call you out if you make a mistake. You know?
Wouldn't be in the military if you didn't hear a few curse words
Exactly.
every 5 minutes.
So I got a lot of respect from my classes that way. And by doing that, I know I had a pretty good record teaching. Like, all my students usually were top of the class, honor grads and stuff like that. But I just taught them as much as I could. I would always volunteer for the classroom. I would take every single classroom portion. You can find me up in front of the classroom yelling and talking and jumping on tables. Things that contractors should definitely not do. But
I remember you used to tell me I threw candy at my students.
yeah, I would always get in trouble for that.
Yeah, that's fun
Yeah,
though.
I'd always get in trouble. But then, well, I was doing that. I loved it. And then I had surgery on my neck. You know, lots of nerve damage over the years from military life.
Stuff, yeah.
So I got out and started doing real estate, and love it. You know, it lets me be a dad, but also have a career. Like, if my kids are sick, which today, of course, they are,
Yeah.
and we have my mother-in-law, your mom, obviously, at the house watching them. But normally, one of us would be home watching the kids, watching TV and hanging out with them. And
Provides a lot of flexibility that we wouldn't have
in our old careers,
otherwise.
man, we wouldn't be able to do that at all. You know, we would have been reprimanded, would have had to take PTO and all this.
One
and with
for us,
everything.
and again, different backstory, but because we did IVF for so many years,
Oh, yeah.
and we finally were able to have kids, and then surprise natural kid as well. I think it's extra special
Yeah.
that we can be a little bit more present for our kids and still provide and
Exactly.
and help people
And
so.
And then we don't feel bad about, like, because you're the same. Like, when you would take off from work, you always felt bad because, I mean, someone else would have to pick up that slack, especially if you knew you had a bunch of clients, or if I knew I had classroom that day. Now someone else is at the last minute going to have to do that. And, you know, I know the level I give. I know the level you give. You know, you feel if you're not there, you're letting people down.
Well, and for me,
So there was
prior
that.
to it was patience, and like people take off time from work or they're sick and they want to be seen, and so you know this.
Yep.
I would go into work sick as a dog, and I'm like, no, like my schedule's full. I have to do this, and you would be
still
so
do
mad
that.
at me some days. I'm not as bad as it now, because I can work from home some days, but yeah.
All right. So next, we're gonna.
What is this?
This is the MRE heater, right here. Everyone knows that's done one of these before.
What the hell is this?
Sorry to cover my face, but everyone can see it real quick. So on the top is what you did. You're gonna peel off the top.
Well, there's 2 cuts.
Yep, the very, very top.
Okay.
The very, very top, not the bottom one. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a little scared. It's fine.
Find your Mexican rice and beans, the one that's really thick and dense.
This?
Nope.
No, not that one.
It's really, really heavy.
This one?
What's
Nope,
it say?
Not that one. How many freaking things are in here? Okay. This is like a brick.
Yes.
This is not my mother's beans and rice.
That is definitely not. We should have your mom. We should make these for your mom and see if she likes them. So
I wouldn't do
you're
that
going
to
to
my mom.
take your MRE,
I don't know. I'll taste it first. Okay.
slide it in.
Doesn't matter which end.
No, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Slide it in. Slide it in, he says. Okay.
All right.
Excuse me. Do I push it all the way down?
Just slide it all the way down.
Okay.
Make sure that the heating element, which is this piece, is flat so it's not bunched up.
Okay. Et voila. Okay.
Now, you see on here, if you look at the pictures, it says "Do not overfill."
Oh, so I just do to the
Just
second?
to the lines.
The first line.
Yep. Make
In
sure when you
between
pour
the
it,
lines.
though, pour it along the back so you put the water on the heating element.
Okay. But my
Alright.
water is ice cold. It's not
It'll
going
be,
to blow up.
it ain't gonna matter.
All right.
All right. So
I'm a
just
little
enough.
scared. It's fine. It's fine.
And if you overfill it, you overfill it. But it's not a big deal.
Okay.
You just overfill these all the time to make bombs.
Okay.
Once you have that, all right, take it.
I don't know. I think I did it.
Yep, yep.
Oh, it's
Andy?
smoking. Okay,
Bend it.
now what?
Bend it.
Fold
Close.
it. Close
All right.
it.
And just put it off to the side for now.
I wonder if I put enough water in there. Do I need to put more water in there?
You'll be fine.
Okay.
If it gets hot,
Yay,
it gets hot. If it
exciting,
gets
my-
cold, it gets cold. You'll
My
know.
food is cooking.
So yes, now the food is cooking. Now, so again, those are
So-
the MRE heaters, and the heating element it gets
You
warm.
can
It's
hear
just
it.
it's just basically like a
My food is cooking.
so you used to take those and you know they're like
That's
gloves.
like me in my time of the month. I'm bloating. Sorry.
You used to take those out. And you can use them as put in water bottles.
Uh-huh.
Tabasco sauce, chili powder. Put a little bit of water, close it off, throw it in MRE when people are sleeping. You got some fun makeshift.
That stinks, huh?
Yeah. But
Okay.
we used to get in trouble all the time as kids, Yeah, definitely. Making these and making little big old bombs out of just exploding bottles.
Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet, sweet. Okay, so I got my drink. I'm cooking my dinner.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, if we get to like the Jetsons time where like our food could taste fabulous, you just put water in it, my house would be so much cleaner because I wouldn't have to spend time cooking. I just put some water on shit and it'll cook.
Let's get your
Oh,
cracker.
crackers.
Let's get your cracker.
This is peanuts, dry roasted. I don't think I have crackers.
You should have a cracker.
I have tortillas. And I have, baked snack crackers. Okay.
What
Mine
about you
doesn't
got
look
peanut butter
square
or
like
cheese?
yours.
Look for peanut butter or cheese. You should have one of them.
I have dry roasted peanuts
Okay. I got honey mustard and onion pretzel nuggets.
and tortillas, chipotle, and baked snack crackers.
Damn, you got some good stuff up in there.
Yeah. So, anyways, how many years? Tell me.
All right, well, go to your crackers then. You didn't get any peanut butter?
No.
Oh, not even cheese with
They
jalapeno?
gypped me. How many? Let me see here. 27 grams of carbs. Okay.
For your crackers, so there's actually a challenge.
A challenge.
Eat both crackers without drinking any water. It's impossible.
Challenge accepted.
Go ahead.
All right. That's a lot of grams of carbs. I mean, I'm not like a carb Nazi, but I think mine's like smashed.
That happens.
Okay.
Oh, you have
mine are
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. Fuck yes.
No, see, you need to find the one that just says crackers.
I don't have one that says
Aw.
crackers.
Man, she's missing out
I
on
wonder
all
if
the
these
fun
taste
stuff.
like Cheez-Its. So if you know me, I always have Cheez-Its at work. And
They taste like Cheez-Its.
one of my coworkers, she's like, "Is that your diet?" And I was like, "I eat Cheez-Its because it makes me drink water because I get thirsty." So I unaccept my challenge because I can't eat Cheez-Its and not drink my water.
I can hear the crunch from over here. That's how dry those things were.
It's pretty good.
So these are the actual crackers that I'm talking about.
How thick is that? Is it
Just
2
two.
crackers?
It's just basically like a large saltine. But they are dense. Like, you know.
Sweet.
Oh my god.
Little memories for you.
You can have the other one.
I'm good. I
Come
got
on.
Cheez-Its.
Aw. So if you look at your heater, you should be expanding and feeling warm, right?
Oh, it's pretty hot, yeah.
So that's all it's doing, is just heating up your food.
Interesting. Alrighty, so
Eat your crackers.
I'm gonna eat them while I talk to you, sir. What's your time doing real estate now? Is it 3 or 4 years? You should be 4.
This May will be the end of my 4th year. So I'm actually, right now, in my re-up period, essentially. You know, most realtors don't make it out after 2. It's kind of seems to be the cutoff. You make it,
Average.
you know. I think it's kind of the same thing in your field, right? We are 2 different fields, which is crazy. As much as we work together, 2 different things. She has her own set of bylaws and regulations that don't let her do stuff, and then I can do that stuff, and then vice versa. It's crazy. But yeah, ending up on my 4th year here soon, so I gotta do all my CEs, which luckily
Continuing education, yay!
I've been very good for the last 2, and
You don't have as many to do as you
no,
thought?
I only had 2 classes. I only have 6 credits left, or no, 9 credits left, 9 out of 24. So I signed up yesterday for a VA contract issue class,
Cool.
HOA legal class, and then the other one
Those
was
HOAs.
HOAs are
They're like good for some stuff, but man, I remember. Oh, that is yummy. I remember in Colorado we used to get ticketed
Oh man!
$50 every time we left our car parked on the road in front of our house.
Oh, I just got chocolate all over me.
And I would always write back in the ticket, "That's not my car."
Yeah, I remember that.
Like,
Well, because we used to have all the guys and soldiers.
yeah.
We used to have the whole platoon over at the house
Yeah.
doing.
Well, and then but when we
Hydrating-
bought that house,
hydrating
I
parties.
didn't know what an HOA was. I just knew like, hey, we can build a brand new house with view of the mountains. Like, I'm in. And then, oh, you have to pay this fee every 3 months. I was like, okay. And then I started getting ticketed for parking the car overnight. But then you would deploy, or go out in the field and train. And I would leave the trash can on the street because we both know I'm great at doing the trash. And I would get ticketed. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So, for you guys who have HOA, I'm sorry. But also at least your yards are clean.
So like, I kind of understood our HOA. The whole parking thing is weird, but there's some good things I liked about it. Like, because our subdivision at that time was like brand new. There was no landscaping or trees or vegetation in the area. So one of the requirements they made us do is we had to put a shade tree within like 3 feet of the park.
Which I did
the
not
sidewalk.
follow. But it's fine.
Yeah, of course you didn't follow. But I kind of like that because, like,
Yeah.
in 20 years from now, and it should create a tree tunnel, is the thought. So it's like, sometimes the HOAs, they're good.
No, they're not always bad. Like I said, they're good. They're just some people go in not knowing. Was that peanut butter just now?
Heck yeah, the peanut butter's amazing.
You like their peanut butter?
Yeah.
Your face says you love
It's
it.
stuck to the top of my mouth and it won't go away now because of the crackers. Sorry, everyone. That's what happens when you do an eating podcast. You get funny
Not
sounds.
always.
I can't.
So, let's hit on the first M.
Mortgages? I thought we just kind of covered that.
Mortgages?
Yeah, what you and I do.
Mortgages, military. Did we hit on military life?
Yeah, a little bit. I remember a couple of things I know I wanted to talk about. Sorry. I want more, but I gotta.
My stuff so far in my MRE is very nice compared to that crap.
All the time.
I don't know about that.
It's all the time. Eat it, get it done with. So while I was deployed,
First
well-
deployment, second. Which one are we talking here? Few.
or contractor.
That's what I'm saying. There's been a
man.
few.
This thing's breaking everywhere. Let's go first deployment. So I remember, like, lots of fond memories of those deployments and days. But I remember the day that I was leaving, and I get off. Yeah,
I see the story. Let's do a little backstory
that you had to. Okay.
first. Okay. So we met in 2005, 2006. You were here doing your AIT for the Shadow.
Mhm.
And I met you through my buddy Frank, who I happen to go to high school with.
Mhm.
He asked me to go to the Tucson Mall with him and his buddies. And I was like, sure, whatever. I met you. You were wearing this awful Aerosmith shirt with a red bandana. And I remember I was like, this guy is an asshole.
Yeah, you threw
Like,
away
you
that
were
Aerosmith
just
shirt. Like as soon as I
hey.
was deployed.
I'm Jew. People, he's Jewish. So, that's how you first introduced yourself to me. And I was like, wow,
That's how everyone- I mean-
this guy. Long, few hanging out later, lots of drinking back in the day. College student, AIT students. You know how it goes.
I didn't drink an AIT.
Oh, never.
What are you talking about?
Every
never got
chance
caught.
I got. I graduated. You were stationed in Fort Hood.
Mhm.
And then you used to drive out some weekends to come and see me
Oh,
with your
okay.
buddy.
So if we're going that route, from Fort Hood to Sierra Vista, actually not Sierra Vista, Tucson, because she lived in Tucson at the time. It was like 14
It was almost 15-hour
14
drive,
to 15 hours.
depending how fast you went. Yeah.
And since I was a UAV operator, we were out in the field all year long flying.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go out Monday morning, SP,
Yep.
nice and early at 5. We'd roll on site at 6. If we didn't have a bird up in the air within 1 hour, we had to take everything apart and do it all over again. And we did that for months. And then Friday night, we pack everything up and head home and do it all again on Monday. And every now and then, military, you're supposed to get your 3 days and your 4-day weekends. But because we were UAVs and we were needed in Iraq and this and that, they kept taking them all away until like the last second. So it always came down. It's like, you're not getting a 4-day weekend this weekend. You're not getting a 4-day. You're not getting a 4-day. Or don't go anywhere because we're doing drug testing. Oh my God, we did so many drug testing.
You peed in a lot of cups.
It was every Saturday for like 4 months. Really, really messed up our drinking games at that point.
Beer night champ.
Beard Eye Champ, undefeated still. So like I would always, at the last second, they would always like, as soon as we got back, like, hey, enjoy your 3-day. You don't come back until Monday. And we'd be like, we wanted to do plans. And so I'd always look at one of my buddies, Gilsaw, Fields,
Gilsaw.
Bob. I'd be like, hey, I'll pay for the nicotine. I'll pay for your food. I'll pay for your booze. Because on the way back, we would stop at El Paso at Fort Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And Fort Bliss at the time, drinking age was 18. So
Yeah.
you could buy anything you wanted as long as you were 18. Which I always found was funny because I would get carded for the beer and the alcohol. but I never got carded for cigarettes. Never understood
So
that
you
one.
would sneak out a few times to come and see me.
We would, yeah. So we would always, try to once a month. I said I'd bribe someone. We'd drive to Tucson. We'd leave Friday night, get in Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably be at work most days, but you get off around noon, so we'd get our nap in.
Yeah.
And
I think I was
then,
still doing clinicals.
yep, you were
during
still
that
doing
time.
clinicals, and then we'd go and run around Saturday day, maybe Sunday day a little
Yeah.
bit, and then leave like Sunday night real late, or maybe Monday morning.
Well, I would fly out to see you too sometimes. Lake Belton was my favorite
Yeah.
lake. So
And
warm
then
and beautiful.
the worst one was the Easter trip with Bob and Fields. And that's when we were picking up Fields' car in El Paso, and me and Bob
Mm.
were coming to see you. And unfortunately, one of my NCOs passed that weekend,
I remember that.
and they did a recall.
And you had to quickly
And of
leave.
course, in a recall, like, you're only supposed to be 150 miles away from base at any given time, unless you have a pass. Yeah, it was like 15 hours, a little bit more than 150 miles.
Yeah. You were pretty beat up about that.
So my squad leader, of course, like, he knew where I was at. I let him know what was going on. He was tracking. He knew I was doing these trips every month. He's like, I can't cover for you. If you get caught, you get caught.
Right.
I'll do my best, but So of course, when that happened, I was like, you gotta give me some time. He's like, like, so and so passed. There isn't, like. Fortunately for that incident, no one can get a hold of a lot of the company, because everyone we were tired and everyone just disappeared. So the company had like all collectively like turned off our phones that weekend. It was weird.
So you made it back in time.
Yeah, we got in trouble for everyone having their phones off, but it bought us everyone's time, because I wasn't the only one that was gone. I know there were other people that had taken off to Houston and further and stuff like that. But yeah, we made it back in time, and after that, I don't think we did any more drives.
Well, you did make one special trip
Which one was that one?
where you took me to Olive Garden and freaked out when you asked me to marry you.
Okay, well, in my defense, you are like the world's worst surprise person.
I'm just a really good guesser.
No, you
stuff.
ruin like everything
I
I've ever
mean,
tried to do for you.
Intuition, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
So you asked me to marry you. I said yes.
Something like that.
How did you ask me to marry you again? How did it go?
Well, so we're sitting at Olive Garden, remember.
So romantic.
I think we were
So romantic.
19, 20?
We were 19.
19, 20, somewhere in there. I don't think I was 20 yet. Yeah,
No,
somewhere.
we were 19.
No, we're 20, because we were in Fort Hood.
I
We're
married
21.
you shortly after I turned 20.
Yeah.
We were 19.
Oh, jeez. Okay. And so we're at Olive Garden because, oh man, I forgot how delicious
Soldier's
it is.
budget,
Yeah, soldier budget, nice and fancy. And of course, I had the bubble
What rank
guts.
were you then? Like an E3?
I was E3.
Yeah, E nothing.
E3, PFC. And I had the bubble guts, like bad, bad. My stomach was rumbling.
What is
I
that?
had like the
your
worst
hand?
gas. It was bad. It wasn't pretty.
Is that beef jerky? Sorry.
This is the Sports Chocolate Nutrition Bar.
Oh, okay. So back to bubble guts. You're probably going to get some in a minute. So you had the bubble guts.
Your turn to try this.
And how did you ask me to marry you?
Well, so as I'm sitting there just like stressed out, losing my mind and freaking out how I'm going to ask her to marry me, she looks at me and she goes, I think I'm going to know when you're going to ask me to marry me.
I did.
And I just was like, what the Like, I have the ring in my pocket. I've showed my entire platoon. Half my company has seen it. It's Moissanite. This thing was baller. And,
Please, baller.
yeah, she calls me out like that. And I'm just immediately like, fuck it, B. Will you marry me? That's what it was.
So romantic. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And we will be married 19 years in July. I don't know what day because we can't remember our day we got married, but it's at the end of July.
It's not 19.
Yeah.
Maka's turning 18.
2017. Oh, yeah. 18 years.
Maka
So we'll
turns
be
18.
together 19.
Been
That's right,
together
that's right.
19. Sure, we married 18 because
Yeah.
Maka.
See, so the beautiful part is we can't argue about, oh, you forgot the anniversary, because neither of us can remember what exact day it is. We just know it's towards the end of July, and that's good enough for us.
I just
So-
remember it's the day before her sister's birthday, and I have it on my calendar.
Or
But then
is
I
it
also have,
2 days before her birthday.
but
I
then
don't
on my
know.
calendar it's also the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like 3 days on my calendar where it says my birthday
Yeah.
or our anniversary.
So we got married. Well, backtrack. You did not ask my dad or had even met my family
Of course not. The only person I'd ever talked to is Rita.
before we got married. And so you did all that. That was
that was
fun.
awesome. You know what? That wasn't the trip. No. That was Gilsal's trip.
We got married on the little chapel.
Right there in
Well,
Fort Huachuca.
sorry. We got married at the chapel on Fort Huachuca in a little room within the chapel. And I remember asking the chaplain, how do we get married? This and that. You were about to deploy. And he was like, well, you guys need to take classes, counseling, blah, blah. And I was just like, is there any way? Because it was a rush.
Yeah,
and
it was.
he was really nice. I wish I remember his name. He's like, well, you guys are going to end up getting married anyways, right? And I was like, well, yeah, that's the hope. And he's like, okay, well, I'll do it. But,
Looks we
he'd
got
given
married.
us some advice. But
Yeah.
he was like, you guys are going to do it anyways. And it was really important to me to get married in a church.
Yeah.
And so he was really kind. And I'm glad he married us.
Same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my leave before heading to Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we kept changing the dates, is because, we just got back from NTC.
Yeah.
We only had our 2-week leave
Mm-hmm.
before we were heading overseas.
Yep.
Yada yadas and all those things. So it was like,
And I never changed my last name to Mayer just yet because you still haven't given me my big wedding.
well, yeah, and also, I think at this point, work-wise, it makes sense for us.
Yeah. I mean, I think my last name's way cooler than his.
I have castles in Germany and Ireland. with
Bitch,
my
I'm a
name.
wolf village. Pretty cool. Anyways.
Your Village of the Wolves.
Yeah. So then you come back. No. Now get into the story about you were getting ready to deploy. And I drove.
Yeah. So yeah,
Was that
we're
the
getting.
first deployment?
Hmm?
I lose track.
Yeah. So younger soldiers are all around, and I was. Oh, that's weird.
You're getting ready to deploy to
Yep.
Iraq.
Yep. Got into Iraq, and we. I was one of the senior soldiers on that that group, and they're all looking at me, and all the wives are all there crying, the girlfriends are crying, the parents are crying,
Mm-hmm.
this and that.
I had all the shit packed up in the car.
Yeah, because you actually
I was ready to go.
we had
Like, you had places to
Yep.
be.
we ended our
I had
lease
places
that
to
day.
be.
Like that day was the end of my lease.
Mm-hmm. Remember we rented like this?
The trailer,
Yeah, like
The
a
mobile home?
manufactured home.
and did like every other soldier
I had no
4
idea
roommates.
what TRICARE was. I had no idea how to pay bills. I didn't rent. I didn't know you had to give a 30-day notice to leave. Trash,
septic,
all the things.
the water.
I did not know.
like-
All I knew is packed up our puppy, Chewy, packed up my Jeep Cherokee to the top, drove from here, first time I've driven out of Arizona
yeah,
by myself. Driving into El Paso, it changed into 5 lanes. Do you remember the story?
well, so
And Chewy in the back of the car hits the window
it starts
and the
going
starts rolling down, and I thought he was going to fly out of the car. Luckily, he didn't.
well, that was after the bus.
No, that was
was after-
before I moved
that's
to
when you-
Texas.
That's when you were on your way back. That was when you were coming out to see me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because that was my first move.
Oh,
And
that
so-
one. Okay.
I know we're getting off course here a little bit, but so that was my first experience ever moving when it was military related.
Grab your food and
Massage it?
massage it. The
Okay.
back of it. Try to get the. If not, you're gonna get pockets of
so-
cold. Massage it down.
Driving into El Paso, I freaked out because I had never experienced 5 lanes in my life. And then I get a little bit further into Texas, and mind you, I'm calling him the whole time, freaking out, because Texas is never ending. I think the speed limit then was like 85 and I was going 100 and I still wasn't getting anywhere. And then all of a sudden I hit a rainstorm. And now we get monsoons here. Pretty good ones, especially growing up. We used to get them really good. But I had never experienced rain, like a Texas rain.
Texas is...
I had to pull over and I would call you crying and I did not understand where I was. I mean, it was pretty scary.
You were taking the back ways too. You weren't even...
You should have came and picked me up, bro. Come pick up your bride. But you didn't. That's
probably
okay.
Drinking.
Probably. And so
that's what we did a lot on the weekends.
We lived there in our little trailer with 3 of your soldier buddies. And
Paul, Bob, and intermittently Gilsaw.
Yes.
Guy on couch.
And we had lots and lots of fun, and then it came time for you to deploy.
Yeah.
I packed up our shit, and it was time to get on the buses.
Yes. The story we started like an hour ago.
I know. Let's get back to it. You're getting ready to get on the bus.
So, yeah, back to that. So we go, and again, all the wives and parents and girlfriends crying.
Caliente.
You know the image. Everyone gets on the bus and everyone's hanging out the bus and and this and that.
Yeah.
So I get on and I'm working my way down and everyone's hanging out the bus, this and that. And I look over and I see her red Jeep Grand Cherokee, driving away. Like I wasn't even sitting down yet. And she's driving away. And I remember looking at all the younger soldiers like, you got to get your wives like that. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up is that was how all my deployments were. Anytime I was overseas, like, you'd never ever put anything on me because you knew where I was over there. Mm-hmm. Like, you understood that as a UAV guy, my job was 0 to 100. Like, I'd be flying around all day not doing anything, and then all of a sudden I got a tick, troops in contact, and all of a sudden I'm coordinating airstrikes and this and people on the ground and people up there and artillery and all these things. So you never ever like let me know of any of the things back home, the drama, the sadness. I think of all the deployments that we did, there was only one day I recall of all of them. Only once did you call me having a bad day, and I'm pretty sure that was because of Pickles, our Westie, who destroyed our brand new house. I think that
was the second deployment.
Yeah, and that was in the second.
Yeah,
that was during the second deployment. But other than that, like, you didn't tell me if we were struggling at home for money.
Some people.
Or this. Meanwhile.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of buddies that their girlfriends were wives. I want you home. I miss you. You need to come home. Figure out how to come home. You know, go do this. Go do something stupid. Some people did, just to get sent home and stuff. And like, you never ever put me in that position. Every time we were on the phone or trying to Skype back then, over
good
VoIP,
old days.
You always made sure that like my headspace was clear and that there wasn't anything there except why I was there for.
Yeah, so I think not just because you were a UAV pilot, because you're a soldier, and at the end of the day, I didn't know what you were seeing or experiencing day to day, and in my mind, things that you might have seen that day or that night or that week could have been 10 times worse than my little piddly the
clinicals.
Yeah, like
clinical or PT.
Like your daily life situation in my mind could be so much worse than anything that made me had a bad day. And so I always just went into the headspace of I knew what I signed up for when I married you.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully, but I learned to understand it. And I made sure to hardly ever tell you that I miss you. And I know that sounds...
Well, you would say miss me, but it wasn't like...
I wasn't like whining, like, I miss you, please come home.
Yeah,
it was just like,
it was like, hey, miss you, have a good day, love you.
Right.
That's what
and
it was.
I always wanted to hear about your day, knowing that you weren't going to fully tell me all the details, and that's okay.
It was a couple days.
Obviously, I could tell when something was bothering you, but I didn't dig too much because it wasn't really my business, right? Like,
I think
you're out there with your buddies, and you guys are in it together. And me as a wife, I didn't find it suitable for me to dig and poke at you and say, "Tell me about your day. Like, what did you see? Did you see somebody get blown up today, or whatever it might be?" That's not.
Yeah. I think the only
as a soldier's wife, my job was, I'll hold down the house. I can take care of myself, and if ever something really serious came up, I was going to tell you.
Yeah.
And some people might be like, "Wow, you're not very sympathetic or empathetic." Or,
no, it was different.
That was my way of taking care
support,
of you.
I needed
supporting you.
Well,
and
like I said,
I think a lot of your buddies actually respected that about me because they knew, like, okay, B, like, and I think I'm still kind of that way where some days I'll ask you, like, "Hey, are you okay?" And you're just like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I know, like, to leave you alone.
Well, it depends on what's going on, if it's pain or other things. But, I remember a lot of my buddies getting those calls and them just sitting there, like,
what just puts added
like
stress
doing
to
this
them.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, and and it was just, the kids and this, and they put all this stress on. It's like, what is he going to be able to do while he's overseas? Nothing. Instead, now you got him, and then we go to fly, and he's here stressed out over that is, so he's actually not paying attention to what we're doing flying.
In my mind, I want your mind to be clear and not worry about me and just come home safe. I think
the longest time I don't think I talked to you in between, like when we were moving fobs and getting set up and stuff like that.
I think it was your second deployment with Gaudet.
No,
I didn't talk to you for a few days, and I was worried. I think you were between Mosul and.
Yeah, you're getting them mixed up. You're close. Second deployment, not Gaudet. It was Gwyn.
Was it?
Yeah, it was mine and Gwyn's. It was mine and Gwyn's bad mission that we had. I didn't call you for like a week. It was like literally a full week I didn't call you, and finally you got a hold of Gwyn, and Gwyn is like, "Yeah, he's going through some stuff, and we'll probably discuss that some of my experiences and stories in other future episodes. I have no problem talking about them, but I think that was the longest time. Other than that, it was in between moving fobs, jumping here, jumping there, because
I said deuces when you were getting on the bus. I knew you had to go. There was no point in me staying crying and being sad about it. Instead, I put on good old Shania Twain on the radio and drove 15 hours back to Arizona from Texas.
All right, I think it's time to start having this meal.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Man, I didn't get like a dessert. I guess the chocolate bar and the chocolate shake.
Do I use this spoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the chocolate shake, I'll say
they give you just the one spoon for a drink and
yeah.
Okay.
You just rinse it.
Less trash that way.
Yeah.
Sorry for the noise.
You know what the funny thing is?
Heavy duty spoon.
I believe I remember reading somewhere, and I will confirm it for the next episode. There is one confirmed kill with an MRE spoon. Oh. I want to say I don't know if it's I
was just saying heavy duty spoon.
The rumor or not, but I remember reading somewhere that someone got a confirmed kill with an MRE spoon. It was, I forgot where. It may be just a story to make people feel better about these things.
That brand Hot Hands. They should take notes of these. These things are hot.
So the middle tear line now. Tear it off.
Middle tear line.
The only reason you're doing it is just makes it easier to pull this out without having to spill that hot water on your lap.
Mine doesn't have water in it anymore.
Well, that means you put just enough water. I still have a little water because I overfilled mine.
Typical dude. Okay.
All right, so take it on out. Okay. And now your food should be nice and warm, right? Massage it around.
The one side is, yeah.
Massage it around. Put your heater off to the side.
Put that in my pocket. It's warm.
Man, that smell brings back some memories, some flashbacks. The longest time we ever had to eat MREs was second deployment, and we're at Wilson.
Oh, you mean like massage it? Like,
Yeah, you gotta get.
I
Yeah.
was being all sweet about it. Okay.
Why? It's rice and beans.
The fact that you're massaging rice and beans.
And the thing, yeah, Mexican style
To
rice
me,
and beans. Yeah.
It's not your mother's rice and beans.
Oh no. All right, so then you see the tear lines, right?
Yes.
All right, so the tear lines go across the top like this.
I figured.
All right.
Okay.
Funny thing is, I feel like that's a newer thing. Towards the end of my military career, they started putting the tears there because we used to just tear it on the top like
At
this.
least it looks like it's the right color, kind of.
So the funny thing about these MREs is that they test these. They get experimental MREs all the time. And I actually mean experimental MREs. I'm not talking about lost sensitive items. I'm actually talking about experimented MREs. They send these out to soldiers and get their feedback, and these are voted on by soldiers.
They weren't voted on by Mexican soldiers. We can put a little sazon up in here.
Oh man, that's good. I remember. Oh,
a little bit
that's
of
good. I forgot about that.
flavor. I mean, I haven't tasted it yet, but
Heck yeah.
you know.
Oh, that's flashbacks. That's delicious.
All right, are we doing this?
I'm already on my second bite. What are you talking about? I'm hungry. I'm going to the gym. What are you doing over there? Come on.
I'm scared. Okay.
It's delicious. Or as Bash says, delicious.
Shit you get me to do. Okay.
This was your idea, by the way. I just ran with
I
it.
regret my decision. So, okay.
Okay, so wait, back to the MREs. Our defect. Take a bite before I finish my story.
I was just going to say, I woke up at 3 a.m. one day with all these ideas. I couldn't sleep. This was one of my ideas.
And she
So
told us.
what am I telling you people? Don't follow through with your 3 a.m. ideas.
Or
I'll tell you if it's a good idea in a minute.
it's going to be a great idea, because wait for the ending. Wait till you get the one with Skittles, because that's always a blessing. Oh, you know it tastes good. Stop complaining.
What is this? Oh.
It has some flavor. It has some spice. For those of you, I don't know if we
You're
could,
white.
if we didn't see it, but I mean, like, I'm holding the spoon. I didn't know rice and beans were supposed to like really stick like that, you know?
What?
They're not even moving. There's like, I could probably hang this here, and by tomorrow the food will still be hanging on the spoon.
Idea.
Delicious idea.
We're good. That's like stuck in my throat.
That's what she said. Couldn't resist it.
The burps. Okay.
Yeah. So again, like the whole concept of the MREs is this whole thing is supposed to give you
I couldn't
all your
eat
calories
all of
and
this
carb
on my
intake
hungriest
for
day.
one day. So they actually, I think, this insert now tells you what it all is.
Ugh. This is not my mama's
So the
beans
MRE
or
food
rice.
sources, carbohydrates, it explains it all. 3 grams of carbs per pound of body weight is what you're supposed to do when you're a 165-pound warfighter. 500 grams of carbs a day. I'm saying when I was 165, well, I mean, I got to, I made it to Iraq at 140, came back 165 because I was doing a lot of lifting and all sorts of fun stuff. But
No.
these would have definitely helped. The nutrition values on these, let's see,
Is,
950 milligrams of sodium, 58 grams of carbs, not only 9 grams of protein, which you would think would be a little bit higher, but this one makes sense because in mine, I don't
I
think
bet
you
you
got
can't
them.
finish your whole bag of rice and beans.
I probably could, but I still have a protein shake I got to get through. I have a protein bar that I got to get through. I
You
got
got the good stuff.
I got
Cheez-Its
honey
and
mustard and
lemonade.
onion pretzel nuggets,
Uh-huh.
which sounds delicious. I guess my dessert happens to be the chocolate bar
Yeah.
and the chocolate shake. That's my dessert. Which the chocolate shakes, to be fair,
You know
when
what
you
this
make
tastes
these,
like?
Huh.
If you imagine like tomato paste
yes,
being thrown in like a texture of oatmeal, kinda rolled in with Play-Doh and just like a sprinkle of like 3
adobo,
pieces of corn and beans.
some
And like
adobo,
here's your what the hell is it? Mexican rice?
Mexican style rice and beans.
This was not cooked by a Mexican. This was
Mexican
created.
style.
Whoa.
Style. That's the key word. Mexican
The military can hire
style.
me and I can make you better tasting MREs.
Just wait till you try some of these other ones. Like,
Aw.
come on, you nacho cheese with jalapenos. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. That's the best cheese there is. You trade for that. People
Ah.
will trade their Skittles for nacho cheese.
You do have a thing for Skittles. So, talked a little bit about the military.
Yeah.
Touched a little bit on mortgages, how I got into it.
We'll cover
About
those a
your
little
real
more.
estate,
Yeah. The mortgage and real estate, though,
educational stuff.
and then just stuff. So,
We're educated on MREs and how delicious they are.
so for those of you that aren't tracking, like, this is the Warrior Healing Center we're working out of.
Mm-hmm. It is a great place to be. Yeah, I think for this first episode it's kind of messy. It's kind of, we're getting used to it, sort of introducing ourselves, a little bit of our background, what our goal is.
Yeah.
But we don't want to take away from the fact of we're doing this partially to be educational to the public, well, mostly actually, but to also incorporate a lot of the awesome services that the Warrior Healing Center offers.
Yep.
And so the more and more we do these, we're going to have some guest speakers on here, some that operate out of the Warrior Healing Center, which is completely volunteer based, which
All
I think
volunteer.
is amazing.
Grassroots, 100%.
Yeah.
Every single
And
person
then
here isn't
some
paid.
local veteran-owned businesses, just
Hoping to get some politicians,
Yeah. the more education we can provide, and even if we can help just better one life,
Yep.
right, or save one life from suicide, or just get somebody off the streets from being homeless for a week and get them situated into a better spot, or
those services
Yeah.
are here at the center.
Mhm.
We have services here that will help homeless vets get into a place fairly quick.
So
we
it's
have-
not just all about real estate and
no.
mortgages. The educations and stuff part, that's where I really want to just dig into on the next few episodes is
Yeah.
how can we help you? Do you know a soldier or a veteran or even just a regular person on the street who's in hard times? Can we help point them in the right direction? Not just, oh, here's a hotel room for a night. Okay, good luck tomorrow. Versus, oh, you're experiencing this. Oh, we actually know somebody that can help with that. Come on into the Warrior Healing Center. Or if they don't have a service, that's what networking's about, right? They probably know somebody on the outside that can help point them.
And that's one of the
In the
good
right
things about the
directions.
center. So I'll say, like, the way the center came around,
Mhm.
and one of the reasons why I love here so much is the heads, the upper people, they took it upon themselves to buy this amazing building. This building is huge.
It is
And from
really
there,
big.
they looked at it as a way to bring in organizations to help veterans. We all know there's hundreds of organizations out there to help veterans.
Mhm.
We could probably just
Name
do an
off a
episode
ton
of
of them.
naming, and we wouldn't even get through all of them.
Yeah. Which I think is awesome, by the way.
There's so it's awesome, but
it's just people don't know how to use contact them and use them, or sometimes those businesses or those places are so overwhelmed that they turn away soldiers.
that, and the other side of it is a lot of those groups were kind of redundant. They all kind of did the same thing, but they were just a little different. And then some of them were like, play like, this is my vet, I'm not going to share my vet with anyone else. And there wasn't a lot of like cohesion along amongst them. So again, the powers that be bought this building, brought in all these organizations, figured out which ones were doing the same thing, figured out how to consolidate them into just one
Yeah.
thing. So combining powers and other things, and like, been working it. I think we're coming up on 6 years now.
Yep.
And since then, you can go on, and I'll get for one of the next numbers we'll do, or podcasts we do. I'll make sure to have our numbers, because we keep track of every veteran that comes in here,
Why they come in here.
why they come in,
the
and it's
services they
not
needed.
just disability benefits that they're coming in for. They're coming in for, of course, disability. That's one of the biggest things veterans come in for. But they're coming in for spiritual help, which is why we're working on building a little chapel.
Some
They
of them
come
are
in
for
for
educational.
for education. So we get them with AZ Works to get them into the schools, to get them paid.
To use their GI Bill
To
better,
get the GI
how to
Bill.
better suit them.
We have a Linux group in here to teach people how to use computers in Linux. We have flute groups, drum groups,
We have
board
free
game
tax
groups.
prep going on right now.
Free tax prep for everybody. You don't have to be a
The
veteran.
one I want to talk about eventually is the dogs, the
We
training
have
dogs.
we have
That's so cool.
Hero Paws is amazing.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to get Hero Paws in here one day. Hero Paws, they
You might not hear me talking much because I'll be playing with the dog. But
so Hero Paws is doing an
blame me.
amazing job, because she's actually right now having the prison systems do like the way I thought of it is like the gen eds,
For the
the
dogs.
sits, the lay downs, the basic commands is what the prisoners are doing. And by doing that, the prisoners are getting their therapy and work release and stuff like that. The dogs are getting their pre-training, and that way she can go and then pick up those dogs, and she doesn't have to worry about spending the time with those ones to get the initial training. Then she can start working with that vet on how this dog is going to help that vet. Is it a mobility issue? Is it a PTSD issue? Is it all these other issues, that some sort of other health issue? She's able to like start working on it then. I think last I heard she had like 11 students,
sweet.
something right now. That
Well,
might be
and
wrong.
I learned this recently is not all service dogs are the same.
Oh no,
And
there's
so I really want to.
and we're talking legit service dogs, not the
Yeah.
bought on Amazon.
The
Service
team
dogs.
version.
But like we have those. We also have different PTSD groups here, because not all PTSD is the same, and everyone doesn't relate the same. So we have female PTSD groups, we have male PTSD groups, we have PTSD groups for different conflicts, because obviously a Vietnam vet and a OEF, Iraq or Afghanistan vet,
Completely different.
way different,
Completely different.
so different.
Well, and I can speak
You-
directly
yeah.
to that, and so can you.
You,
PTSD, I have it.
yep.
Is it affects us all differently, and we each have our own triggers, and we each learn to handle it differently, and some of us didn't talk about it and some of us did. Some of us tried to, and it just didn't feel right. And so I think the fact that there's different options to help with PTSD is huge, because it's not just go in here and it's the same shit every time.
Yeah.
That's how I think of a regular counselor. They're there to just like on record, on repeat.
Oh
But if
no,
you have
not our
specific
guys
groups
here.
for those rice and beans, man.
Drink a drink,
Still in my
wash it
throat.
down.
To help specifically, or how to cater to a woman PTSD versus a man, or a veteran PTSD, or that's what I'm calling them, versus an OIF is completely different. Mine
So
came
much.
from a car wreck.
Car wreck,
It's
yep.
completely different. And so I think that's huge. And if you're listening and you know somebody who has PTSD and has tried counseling and it just didn't sit well with them,
You never know.
mention the Warrior Healing Center.
Yep.
I knew I was one of those where I was like, I'm not fucking crazy. Like, you're a piece of shit, counselor, telling me what's wrong with me. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, I just wasn't.
You weren't. It was a different
Counseling,
headspace.
yeah, counseling
gotta-
for me didn't
yeah.
work, because I think they were trying to treat something that wasn't my problem. And so for
They'll-
some place like this place who has seen a whole rainbow,
Spectrum of everything.
yeah, of different PTSD and causes and whatever, like,
And the other thing is, like, PTSD, everyone always thinks, especially being military, it's something to do with war. it's not the case.
No.
There is a very large number of sexual
Hmm.
assault PTSDs,
Hmm.
and we have classes that help address that and stuff like that as well, because
Yeah, so
that is a whole different.
yeah, well, the
When you
support
have
that the
your,
Warrior Healing Center offers is almost endless.
one of the cool things they're
I
working
mean,
on
it's
right now,
amazing.
and it's supposed to be launching here,
Hmm.
is they're actually doing a anti-suicide prevention class. So
Here in the
everyone
Warrior Healing
here,
Center?
yep, all the volunteers, all the
Like, I could have
caseworkers.
used that back in the day too. I was only 17, but man.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even just 17. I remember a couple other times.
Well, and it's like
It
you do pretty good, but when you came home from deployment,
took a while.
I forced your ass to go to counseling.
Yeah.
You were detached. I was like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, where did Josh
Well,
go?"
I mean,
And that was your second
First.
deployment.
well,
between.
okay. So,
I don't remember.
second one is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll cover those, but
And you still, some days.
that
I just firmly believe, right, and just from observing with our military buddies and with you and myself, which isn't war related at all, you guys all come home different. You never come home the same. And each deployment, you
Wow.
come home a little bit different. But I think it's that first deployment where a boy or a girl becomes a woman or a man because they saw some shit. Like,
saw some shit, did some shit.
yeah. And I think in general, if you're a veteran who's deployed and you've never actually talked about what you saw, because I think that happens a lot in the older generation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where the veterans, the World War IIers, they were children when they left, and they had no fucking choice. They grew up real quick, and back in the day, it wasn't like it is nowadays. They're like, "Oh, talk about it, talk about it." It was like,
You didn't talk
you
about
didn't
it.
talk about
That
it.
was how it was on it when
Mhm.
I first joined.
So I think services have gotten a lot better, and more available, but people, especially soldiers, are still in that headspace of like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good.
it's
But you're not good because when you're
No.
alone, things come up
it's
in
changed
your
a
mind.
lot, but the mindset's changed. I know that.
Mhm.
I talked to a lot of young soldiers.
No.
Even when I was teaching, like they understand now it's different, and I'll say like the younger generations, they are much more about mental health.
Yeah.
We see that. Everyone sees that.
It's
They're more
generational.
about
It's getting better.
It's getting better. So like the younger soldiers, I feel like they understand it. The stigma is still there, but I do feel like when I was in, it was lessening. Like I know I had senior leaders, they would push to go for therapy, even if you never saw anything or did anything.
No.
When he came back, it's like go and talk to someone. Like, so it is going away.
Yeah.
It just depends on leadership.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know we're going down a rabbit hole here. I could talk about PTSD and
Well, yeah.
suicide all day long because I
Well, I was trying to say before you
directly relate to that. Sorry,
before
go
you-
back on track, babe.
Yeah, what I was trying to say is they're doing a suicide prevention class here. So all the caseworkers, all the volunteers, and everyone's going to have training on how, if a vet comes in and they are in that position or in that mind frame, how to react to it. And I can say that last year, our numbers as of last year, we had,
Diving into the peanuts.
I believe it was around 30 veterans came in to the center last year.
Mm-hmm.
And 30 of those veterans said that they were harm to themselves or harm to someone else. And as of my last count of numbers, unless something has changed just recently, which I haven't heard, all 30 of those veterans are still with us today.
Oh, good.
So, like, we're obviously doing something good here. Granted, we see hundreds and almost a couple thousand a year. Again, we'll get some numbers to start covering those another time. But 30 veterans came in here saying that they were going to hurt themselves or someone else. And they're still here today because of this place.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the work that people do here, our volunteers, our classes, our groups. There's just so many things here.
Yeah.
I definitely look forward to bringing our guests in here and highlighting different activities from the garden club.
Well, and that's the whole point of this,
flutes,
right?
drums. I know I keep saying them, but you can't miss the flutes. They're loud and they're awesome. They
We were
get
here
you
last time
relaxed.
when they were jamming out, and it was a jam out. It's like,
This
okay.
is this room in here
Get it,
is
flutes.
quote unquote a quiet room, and we can hear them.
While you were talking, I dug into the peanuts. Pretty delicious. Like
I mean, they're
plain
peanuts. If you notice, everything in here is like super salty,
I like salt.
right? Well, the reason is because it's going to make you drink your water and stay hydrated and all that. That's
Right.
why, like, when you eat the rice and beans, you have to
That
watch.
shit was awful.
You got to eat it and you got to wash it down because like you said, it gets stuck in your throat, right? So that's the whole purpose of it.
So, I know we're talking M.R.E.S, mortgages, military real estate, education, and I'm going to switch it from stuff to services.
Okay.
And the whole point of us doing this is I want to highlight the Warrior Healing Center and its services. And so, if you're listening, leadership, how do you guys live off of this?
You ain't got a choice. You don't have a choice when this is the only thing you have to eat. You know, you suck it up.
I don't know what kind of magic powder they put in there, but it gets stuck to your throat.
Yeah, wait till you try the peanuts and all these other ones.
Anywho,
This is your first. This is only your
Let's
first
go
day.
into the next. Oh, tortillas. Was I supposed to eat my thing?
You got tortillas?
Yeah.
I didn't get tortillas. Where's that
Beef
at?
jelly. I bet she's not my mama's tortillas.
Yeah, because we have. Let's go ahead and start working on wrapping this up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Last
Okay.
little
Why
things.
is it orange? Hold on a minute.
While you do that, I'm gonna have my honey mustard and onion pretzel nuggets.
Oh, I do like pretzels.
I mean, honey mustard and onion though.
I'm kind of all over the place, babe. I kind of like it. It's just like at home, getting it done. But
Oh man, these things look good actually.
I don't know about this. Let's see. What is this?
Oh,
Tortillas
Man.
Chipotle.
I promise we'll clean up afterwards.
390 milligrams of sodium.
Yep.
Okay.
You gotta get your sodium intake. Oh man, these are delicious. I'm finishing these later.
I would rather eat these than whatever that shit was for beans.
Of course, you would
and
want to
rice.
eat a tortilla. I need to get a.
You want one? You want to catch one?
I will say the tortillas were always a pretty good
It's
thing.
not bad.
That tastes about right.
It's literally a good wrap up to the episode.
Well, almost. We do have that weird thing right there that I made for you
Fuck.
that I gotta bust out.
If it's pictures of us when we're younger, I'm
No,
gonna
I wouldn't do that.
stab you.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna stab you.
I would take pictures and put it on there of you, but not like that of me younger. God, no. No. So, because this episode, and every now and then, just let our viewers know, we're not going to eat an MRE every episode.
Hell no. I'm going on a diet after this.
Every couple episodes, we'll bust one out. We'll have a discussion over what's, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Or maybe we might have a guest in and have MRE with them every now and then. But the whole goal is to have B try some MREs and tell us what she thinks of them. And then at the end of them, well, we got to figure out how she grades them, right? How she likes it. Well,
What is that?
Tim, I don't know how we're going to get this one. Can you zoom out?
I am intrigued. Not in a great way.
Yep.
I know
So,
you. With the burps.
we are doing,
What the fuck is
if we
that?
can do this to the camera. Oh, I'll get it over here. The MRE. Oh, man, this thing's big. It's the only thing I can find. If I bring it this way, here we go. The MRE tasting board. Oh, that light.
You have to raise it higher, baby.
Yep.
The MRE tasting board.
So, those are B's yummy face and her disgusting face on there. So, where are we going to rank the Mexican style rice and beans? Big shout out to Michelle at Clusterfunk. You're awesome.
Oh, she created that?
Oh, I had her make all of this for me. I made the board, but she did the pictures.
I'm gonna give this one. Well, let's see here. The lemonade was pretty legit.
All right, so lemonade was good.
The Cheez-Its were Cheez-Its. They were extra crunchy.
Cheez-Its.
The peanuts, I mean, come on. But they did try to choke me and kill me, so that negative point there. Tortilla was...
It's a tortilla.
So if that's what you want to call it. And then the rice and beans. So am I overall...
Overall, what's your grade on it?
I'm gonna give it a -7.
-7?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This shit right here is pretty bad.
So you're saying we're going to a -7
Okay,
all
but
the
to
way
be
down
fair, it's a quote-unquote Mexican style dish, and so I'm already naturally harder on that because, I mean, my mom's cooking.
All right, so
What do you grade it?
I'm putting this at like a 5 or a 6.
Oh, you went up
Yeah.
on the scale.
There's only a few honestly bad MREs.
Okay.
Egg omelet.
They have egg omelet as a choice? Oh. I'm calling in sick that day.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Because that's the one I can honestly say I have eaten egg omelet like once. And,
That is a great scale there, sir.
thank you very much. I told you when you had this idea, I told you I need you to trust me.
I do
Because
trust you.
we needed a visual representation of
It's
how
important.
you like the MREs and grade them. So you're
Okay,
at
so I won't give it a -6 because I'm sure there's worse. And
Oh,
because
there's
I
far
graded
worse.
it on a Mexican to Mexican scale here. I'm gonna give it a -3.
-3. All right, -3.
That's my final.
Final grading. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll get that put on the board for the next one,
Okay.
and I'll make sure to get it on there.
Yeah. So this episode again, a little messy, more our style. We just kind of go for things and do it. You know.
Just a little.
This next one, if we get to bring in our special guest.
Yep.
He is full of nothing but good stuff and information. And if you have questions, this guy knows it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a good friend of ours. He's just genuinely a nice guy who wants to help out just like us. And so
Yep.
he falls right in the realm of
And he's one of
military, mortgages,
Yeah.
some real estate, education for sure, and services.
those. He's
A
prior.
good guy. He's
prior. All right. Well, I think that was a wonderful episode, and I can't wait to continue this with you. This is gonna be
Always a fun time
Yeah.
trying new shit with you. Literally shit, because those
Just
rice
wait.
and beans were awful.
Just wait.
But yeah, so in the meantime, you guys have questions or want to give us some feedback, we're open to it.
Yep.
And
Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share.
Yep. The more we get into it, the more
yeah.
education you're going to find. And
If you have any questions, please throw them on
information.
the comments. Hey, if you think that B would like a different MRE,
fuck.
throw it on the comments. All right.
Let's wrap this up.
Trying to find some MREs. I know there's all sorts of new flavors, but go ahead and add comments. Which ones would you think she likes?
Or vote for no more MREs.
All right.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you guys for your service. Everyone listening. Thank you, babe, for going along with my crazy 3 a.m. idea. And I look forward to informing people with you and talking and just,
Making
getting
a mess.
information out there. Yeah, and making a mess. But we'll clean it up.
We'll clean it up.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys. We're out.